All right, guys, here we go. iKON 5, it is fight week here, Friday night live on UFC Fight Pass. With us today, one of the featured fighters on this whole card. Been hearing so much about him, AJ Fletcher. My man, how are you doing?
Yo, doing good, man. How are you?
Doing great, brother. Doing great, man. First and foremost, you don't know how many fight posters I have seen with AJ Fletcher at iKON 5. I see like 4 or 5 of them. Take us through it. Finally, we will get to Wesley Golden. So much respect to him. I've talked to him multiple times. Take us through that, man. It's been a couple of names you've seen or heard. Take us through that mental aspect of it.
Yeah, it's been interesting. So one thing that COVID has kind of really kind of instilled home in me is that you don't really know what's next, right? So you've kind of really got to focus in on what you can control. And one of those things I can't exactly control is, who's standing in front of me. So like you said, we did get a few good a few opponent changes, I guess, or a few names here and there. And man, just one of the things I've kind of learned over the last year is that if I just keep myself in the gym and keep improving my skills and, obviously look at my opponent and see what they're good at, you can you can just stay on that road. There's not too many I try not to get too concerned with my opponent and all that. I just try to stay in the gym, and that's where I put my importance. And, obviously I gear up for fights and all that, but from what I've found, if I just stay in the gym and try to improve my skills, good things happen. And whoever the opponent is, great. It's just a name. It's just it's a blank slate. It's a person with skills and techniques and patterns and openings, and that's just kind of what I go in there and see.
Nice. You mentioned the road to iKON 5 Friday night. Dude, iKON's been on fire, man. They had a really, really hot end of last year. This is their 5th event. Jason Knight headlining the card, UFC, bare knuckle superstar, 4 fantastic female fights on it, a couple other bangers on it, yourself. Dude, this is one of the, hot cards for UFC Fight Pass. How do you feel to be a part of the iKON banner, UFC Fight Pass, and what does it do for you personally in your career?
It's exciting. I know there's definitely going to be, in terms of eyeballs, this is probably, the biggest fight I've ever had. And a lot of people ask me like, oh, you get nervous if it's the biggest one or whatever. It's like, I don't know, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, each step is going to be, consequently bigger and bigger and bigger. Right. And just, knowing that going into it, it kind of just, sobers you up a little bit. But I don't know, man, I'm super pumped. iKON's a great organization. I've been following, before I was even booked for these fights, and they put on some serious cards and they put on a really good promotion. And to have, former guys in the UFC like Jason Knight on the card, like that's a dream come true of mine, getting to fight on him. I remember 3-4 years ago watching that dude bang it out in the UFC and just being like mind blown watching him. So, and to be able to share a card and share a night with him is just, it's a dream come true. It really is. So I'm excited, man. I'm looking to make the most of it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Not a lot of people remember Jason Knight had a 4-fight win streak in the UFC, with one of them being Dan Hooker, which was one of the biggest names in the sport 4 months ago. I know he took the L, but no disrespect losing to Michael Chandler. Jason Knight's got serious high-end mixed martial arts skills. The card's stacked. One thing you said I like about it is iKON, especially with you, and I do want to get it with you about the youth. I love iKON puts a lot of their stake, a lot of their core into the youth of mixed martial arts, into the next generation. There's already 2 or 3 fighters that fought in iKON 1 to 4 that's going to the UFC. One of their main fighters, Bella Mir, literally is just 18 years old, 2 wins under her belt. I love how iKON is putting limelight on the youth of MMA.
Absolutely. And that's something that over this past year has been, it really kind of took a hit. I know in terms of Louisiana, like I think we're just starting to gear back up for shows. So I'm fortunate that, I'm a professional now, and I can branch out to go to other states and some other organizations and stuff to find fights. But man, for some of these amateurs and some of these local guys, and really even, somewhat for myself, like it's over the past year with COVID and everything, it's been tough. So to have somebody like iKON kind of leading that charge, and really, like you said, giving eyeballs to the young and up and comers, man, it's huge. Like, you can't put a price tag on that. You can't put a value on that. That's going to be what they're doing is going to have. It's going to have waves for years to come. Just stepping up and putting on those shows. It's gonna carry on.
Yeah, UFC 310, AJ Fletchers and Bellamirs and Kayla Rocca. There's going to be so many names from the iKON. Cannot wait. You mentioned it, Lafayette. The show's in Biloxi, an hour and a half drive. Is that something that maybe you think benefits you a little bit home, a little bit more, you're used to? I would assume maybe some of your people, some of your family, friends, fans in the crowd. Do you think that you have a little bit of an edge with that?
Well, I mean, so all my life, I pretty much I played travel sports, travel soccer,
Okay.
travel baseball, football, all that. So I'm kind of my life is used to being on weekends, going and taking trips to hotels and going to a sporting event or whatever. So especially in Mississippi, like I have had a lot of tournaments back there, and now over the past year, man, it seems like Mississippi's becoming the fight capital of the South with COVID and all,
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's not too far of a drive. We'll definitely have some family, some friends, some supporters coming out there, and it is, man. It's not too far. It's a good little getaway. There's a beach right there. I really like it, So definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. If you go there, if you're there watching boxing after weigh-ins or RJJ boxing, after that, if you see me at the Golden Nugget, playing the little cards, we'll talk then. You know what I mean?
Hey, don't put it all on black. I'm just saying.
All right. One thing. Okay, Wesley Golden. I would love your take. Did you know of him before the fight? Like I said, so much respect. You're a hot name, big prospect in the game. He stepped up. He says, "Yeah, I'll go on UFC Fight Pass. I'll challenge AJ Fletcher. I'll test my skills." Since the fight announcement, have you looked him up? What do you think about him? I would just love your take on great vet, good guy, Wesley Golden.
Yeah, so I did go look him up, and from what I mean, he's a gamer, man. Like I'm not the first one he's done that against. From what I've seen, he's taken on some top names, and he's not scared of guys who have some heat behind them, and that says a lot about him. You see a lot of guys nowadays who are looking for just the right opportunity, looking for everything, looking for the stars to align just right, and a lot of people let a lot of opportunities go by, and for him to hop on that on 2 weeks or 1.5 weeks notice and be that gamer and say, yeah, I am ready for this and I want to take this opportunity and try to make the most of it for himself. How can you not respect that? And for a vet who's been in there that long to still have that attitude and still have that grind and still have that want, man, I mean, I respect it,
Absolutely, man. He's a good guy, really good guy. His wife, I think they just had a baby maybe 2-3 weeks ago. Really good family guy. I think, hey, it's business. It's the fight game. It is what it is. And then, like I said, afterwards, we'll, hang out in Biloxi. 24 years old. I love it. I think it's a prime age for MMA. Tell me about like how you feel entering your prime. Do you feel you still have levels up to keep going? Do you think your body's going to be as good as it is right now? In 2-3 years, your mental will step up to it. Where do you think you're at right now at 24?
Man, I don't know. I woke up so I turned 24 last Thursday, and I swear when I woke up Thursday, I started having a few extra creaks and groans. And
oh man,
no, I'm just messing. Man, anytime I say that, my coaches, they're all like, "Oh, come on, dude, you're 24, yeah. We're 50, we're feeling it, all that." But no, man, I feel great. I feel like I've learned a lot, but I feel like I've got a lot to learn. I feel like I've got some good people around me, and I've got a lot of people to who have walked that path before me, who are kind of leading me, giving me a direction on what I should do and kind of how I should approach these next few years and all. And I'm just trying to take it in stride and enjoy everything day by day, and not be too fixated on everything in the future. And right. One of these things COVID did that kind of really shifted in my mind was so fixated on getting into the UFC, and don't get me wrong, I still am, but I'm also trying to enjoy like the past year. Like, you don't know, like you hear guys all the time who are in the UFC, like say how much they enjoyed those regional fights and getting to, fill out a card with some of their teammates and people that they've been around all the time, and having COVID and having that taken away from you for, almost the better part of a year, or just, all the uncertainty around it. It really puts that emphasis back on, oh man, I'm getting to go in here with Jason Knight, who used to be in the UFC on a local show. A bunch of family and friends are going to be able to come. My teammates are all around here. Like that's kind of it really kind of drove that home this past year or two with me. And I'm really trying to, yes, my goals are the UFC and to keep pushing forward. But right now I'm just trying to, enjoy each step in this journey as much as I can and really soak it up,
Yeah, no, absolutely. Another thing you just kind of mentioned there, I'm not really sure of it. Like, so you said coaches and teammates have been through there. Who are some of those names? Who are someone that you kind of get that information with? You know, you have had a hard ass practice, someone you can kind of just sit down and kind of just be real with in 15 minutes of communication and really kind of help you up mentally in the fight game.
Man, so obviously Tim, my head coach, I mean, he is
Right.
just an absolute wealth of knowledge, and yes, in terms of techniques and skills and all that, but just in terms of, I mean, how to carry yourself as a martial artist and as a man, first and foremost. There's not a lot of people that I've come across that, you know, have trudged through some of the mud, I guess, as much as Tim has, and really come out on the other side shining like a diamond, which kind of segues into the next person, I guess, that, you know, has really kind of risen to the top of the MMA world. And Dustin, you know, he comes back and he has a house in Youngsville, which is 10 minutes away from Lafayette, if not in Lafayette, pretty much. And he, every time he's back from training camps, he's in the gym, he's training with us, and he's another one of those guys I could just bounce ideas off of or bounce questions off of. And whether it's techniques or whether it's, hey, how does this next part of the journey, you know, what does it look like? What are some things that I need to keep my eye on? What are some things I need to be aware of? And just there, when Dustin came up, there was also a wave of guys that, you know, came with him. Guys like Thomas Webb in Baton Rouge, guys like Eric Scallon, who's in Gladiators in Youngsville, guys like Christian Fulgham, Gladiators in Crowley. There's so many guys around here that all were a part of that wave with Tim and Dustin, and a lot of them kind of, you know, leading the head charge that I can bounce ideas off of. It's, you know, not everybody has the full path that they've walked down, but they've all got little pieces of it. And as long as I, you know, remain open to those pieces and remain a student, really just trying to learn from everybody, I feel like I've got a great team, a great core group of guys around me that, you know, can continue helping me grow, really.
Absolutely, dude. And when we go off air, tell me about that Dustin guy. I don't know who you mean. You know what I mean?
So Dustin, the guy.
It's funny. I talk with so many guys, so many fighters, and it's right before the Conor fight. We actually kind of did a thing on it. He is probably, I would really bet money on it, the most respected, maybe the most beloved by the fighters, the community itself. Everyone down there, I live in Florida. I have great ties with American Top Team. Everyone down there loves him, just respects the hell out of him. Same thing, never ducks anyone, just a fighter's fighter, just has all of it. The family, the charity aspect of it, definitely the guy. You know what I mean? I'm so happy for him that some guys like that never sometimes rise to the top because they do so many other great things. He's, you know, you can't argue. Literally defeated Conor McGregor, main event. It's going to happen probably the trilogy again soon. Just an unbelievable run for him. So that's pretty cool. You know, not a lot of people have that, you know, bounce off with one of the, if not the top guy in the industry, you know?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
One thing I saw, so as an amateur, took 2 L's in a row. And I would love for you to kind of hit back on it, think back at it 2, 3, 4 years from, you know, before and say like, man, what happened or what flipped, what switched? You went on a really big winning streak since. You haven't lost since. Was it just not ready yet? Was it just having those lessons learned, or did something flip with you and be like, okay, I'm training different now. I'm switching.
There was definitely somewhat of a switch. I don't know if it was maybe you know, right away, immediate, or maybe more of a gradual thing. I do remember the night. So I never really sleep after my fights. I don't know, adrenaline, just when it gets in my system, bro, 4 a.m. I'm up, no matter what happens. If I watch my teammates fight, dude, I'm 4 a.m. staying up. But no, man, I remember that night. It was, you know, I got out wrestled that night. I got grinded out in the fight, and I came home, and I think my girlfriend was with me at the time, and I couldn't sleep. I was tossing and turning. So I went and, you know, slept on the couch. Really, I watched YouTube videos the whole night. And what I was trying to do, I was trying to figure out, I was like, okay, what separated the people who made that leap, who made the next jump, who achieved their dreams essentially, and what separated them from some of the ones who wanted to do it, some of the ones who kind of got left behind. And right. I remember looking up a video of I think one of the ones that came up was Misha Tate and Brian Caraway, I want to say, and there was a video of them living outside in an RV at the gym. And there was another one of I just came across all these stories or all these instances of people just kind of going all in. And I remember like that YouTube rabbit hole led me down a a path of eventually going to rappers, because I mean they're entertainers. They have to draw a crowd, they have to sell tickets, they have to perfect their art, they have to do a lot of the same things, and maybe just a little bit different area, but a lot of same things transfer over. So then I remember I went and I looked up Russ when he was on his come up. I went and looked up this dude named G-Eazy. I looked up all these dudes and tried to find some sort of common theme. And what that common theme was, as cliche as it sounds, but they went all in, dude. It going all in looks different for everybody, right? Misha Tate had to go live in an RV for years. Dustin had to move to ATT. Some dude one of the rappers I looked up had to go to New York for a long time. So I just kind of started looking at that and started thinking about what my all in was. And looking back at it now, like that, just researching that was kind of like the first step. Like, okay, what does it really need to take? What for me, my life, what is that all in? And that was kind of like that switch. And from then on, I spent my spring break trips going up to Cleveland at Strong Style because I had a buddy up there. I go train with him. I took a trip down to ATT for a week to see what that was like. I went up to Milwaukee with Tim and them to go see what that was like. So I started taking in all these different influence and just ideas so I could piece together what my all in was. And eventually everything outside of fighting just became I saw my time outside of training almost as like supplementary to training, and everything I would take into my head or into my brain, I was like, okay, it sounds like I don't know, it sounds borderline nuts, but it's like your hobbies and all that. I found a way I enjoy them, but I found a way to tailor it to take in more information and figure out more of that road and really like commit myself from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. It's 90, 95%, if not damn near 100% of this is getting me better for fighting, whether it's my skills, whether it's stretching, whether it's recovery, whether it's reading old war books. Let's see what we got. We got the Art of War. We've got the War of Art.
Love it.
That's what I'm saying. Like it was just a rededication of like, okay, I've got to figure out how to make more of my life. I've got to go all in, whatever that is for me. And that was, I mean, it just switched.
I love it, man. I know you got a great nickname with the Ghost, AJ the Ghost Fletcher, but how about AJ All In Fletcher? You know what I mean? That's got a little ring to it. Hey, just throwing it out there.
I don't want to have to fight Brendan for that one though. Brendan Allen has all in trademarks.
He's actually one of my guys. Dude, it's so funny, right? I have one of his shirts. He sent me one of these long sleeve shirts that says All In Allen, and it's an incredible long sleeve. It's like one of those Under Armour materials. Great stuff by Brendan. He's one of my guys.
He's a J man. He actually, that trip up to Milwaukee, I think that was his first before he moved up there. That was his first trip up to. I could be wrong, but his first trip up to Rupasport. We took a van of like 8 or 9 of us, drove. I think it was like 14 hours up there, and just all for 3 or 4 days, I think, stayed up there and drove around and got some training in and all. It was fun.
Insane, man. Insane, dude. Appreciate you so much. AJ Fletcher, guys, iKON 5 Friday night, UFC Fight Pass. Couple more things outside of fighting. It's fight week. You said you go all in. You're reading the books. You've got so much of it. What do you try to do fight week to kind of keep your mind off of it, or just try to keep yourself at ease, not try to try to conserve the energy for Friday night. What do you try to do just to, get your mind off of it for a little bit?
Honestly, it's just a little bit less of I stay in the gym. Like I don't like not thinking about it. Like I'm not one of those guys who like only envisions themselves winning or only like I go to the dark parts of the fight. I go to the parts where, maybe I get knocked down and maybe I have to get back up, or maybe I'm on bottom and I have to get a sweep or something. Like I don't mind thinking about those bad things. And I think that that's a lot of not just the bad things. Obviously I envision myself doing the knockouts and climbing the cages and all that, but I like in terms of how it changes, it's just less intensity. It's not like I'm really doing so much to like focus my time or my headspace somewhere else. I'm still like, I'm gearing up for a fight. I know that. I know there's bad things that can happen, good things that can happen. And I'm just going through all those scenarios. I'm reading my books. I'm drawing little pictures in my little doodle pad that are absolutely horrible if you ever saw them. No, I'm just taking it day by day and doing a majority of what I do every day, whether I have a fight coming up or not. It's just the intensity and the maybe the how the sessions go that really kind of changes.
Right. Okay. Like I said, I've been showing it up here. Make sure everyone give you a follow at AJ_Fletcher MMA. So I looked you up on IG. For one, I love it. Like every picture, it's like fight picture in the cage, fight picture. It is all in, literally everything MMA on this. But one thing, I look at the bios. To me, it's just really important. You have 100 letters to really, push out what you want to push out. And one of the lines for you is a fun sock advocate. So hit me up on this. What's this about?
Man, if I went and pulled out my drawer, I would have tons. But that's like, I don't know. That's like I went to private school, right? So you always have to wear the high white crew socks. So I'm sure part of that is like, all right, bro, I'm finally out. Let me wear my fun socks. But
you're rebelling.
That's it, dude. Such a rebel, right? No, it's just, I don't know. I just like them. I don't know. If you got to wear socks, like you might as well add a little razzle dazzle to them,
Hey, everyone loves razzle dazzle. I've never met anyone that doesn't like razzle dazzle. Man, we are so excited. AJ Fletcher, big fight. Wesley Golden, iKON 5, Friday night live on UFC Fight Pass. Man, that's a good ring with it. AJ Fletcher, UFC in the same sentence. That has a really, really good ring to it. AJ, man, be good. Stay safe. Be good this week. Any kind of plugs or sponsors or any kind of teammates or anyone you want to shout out, the floor is yours, my man.
Yeah, man. Thanks. First and foremost to my teammates and my coaches. They have. I know it's not been an easy year or two. With everything going on, people have lives outside of the gym. People have things they have to take care of, and the commitment from them and really just everybody around me in the gym has just been. It's been crazy to see in terms of everybody helping me try to chase this thing and chasing their own version of it too. It's been great to see. So absolutely a huge shout out to my coaches, my team, my gym. Yeah, man, that's the big one. That's the one I wanted to get off my chest the most, I guess. I've had a few sponsors that have really stuck with me through this whole thing. The House in Tigerland, Elephant Realty, and as always, Gladiators Academy.
Nice, man. Like I said, can't wait for your fight. You're definitely one of the names we've been hearing for a while, especially with iKON. And like I said, I seen your picture on the poster. They sent it to me like every other. It was like 3 or 4 days with a different name. I was like, guys, we got to set them up right. But here we go, man. AJ Fletcher, Wesley Golden, Friday night. Can't wait, man. Like I said, be good. And I'll see you out there in Biloxi, all right?
Will do, man. Take care.
All right, brother.